Lend me your ear. I got something you need to hear. Turn the volume up so it's loud and clear. A podcast where we talk about politics and culture, unscripted, no limits. Like a 504 soldier, we're not pretenders, ain't no agendas. Our only plan is to keep it 100 and do it for the fam. Yeah.
What up? What up? What up?
What's going on?
Same old same. I'm 6 Mil. Keeping it true.
It's your boy KG.
Welcome to episode 21 of For the Fam podcast. How you feeling today, brother?
Pretty good, man. You know, just did a full work shift, waiting on the truck at Meineke.
Yeah, man. You go in them joints without an appointment, they will have you there all damn day.
Well, I ordered a pizza, sitting there and ate pizza with like two of the people that was in there waiting on their car.
That's just ridiculous.
Yep.
Absolutely ridiculous. I understand, but at that point, just say you don't accept walk-ins. You know, instead of just having somebody spend their whole day there.
Well, since it's a fleet vehicle, you know, they had to call, get approval.
Oh my God.
And I'm telling the dude, I was like, hey, it's approved up to $250. So at least do the diagnostic.
Correct.
Because I mean, I already knew what it was, but I'm like, at least do the diagnostic. So when you reach out to them, you already got it.
Right.
Because the diagnostic only $150.
Right.
Yeah. It's fixed now though, so.
Yeah, that's the good part. But man, to spend like the majority of your day up in that joint.
Shit, about 5.5 hours.
Aggravates.
Yep.
Man, I would be beside myself. I ain't even gonna lie. Man, so what you want to get into today, brother?
So today we're going to talk about the French Revolution and the parallels as to what we're seeing today, as we were saying from a financial aspect and you know how it started and what's going on here currently in the United States.
Sort of like history repeats itself.
Oh man, all day, every day.
Wow. All right. Well, let's get into it. All right. So, like my brother was saying, we wanna attack this. I mean, because there are parallels we can make as far as like the fighting goes, but my personal opinion, I don't think it's ever going to progress to that level, at least not here in the United States. But the pure economic cause of the French Revolution. So what we wanted to focus on is how those absolutely correlate to what we're seeing today in the U.S. economy. Not so much the political, which there are political parallels as well, but we want to focus on how it correlates with economic standards for today. All right. So, of course, it's France because it's the French Revolution. But basically, there was the first and second estates, which is the clergy and the nobility, the monarchs and the religious leaders. Basically, took the majority of the land. They took the majority of the wealth. And then you had the third estate, which is everyone else, the working class, and what they called, quote unquote, the peasants. And basically, the top two categories, the clergy and the nobility, they had a overwhelming majority of the wealth, while that third tier, the working class and the peasants, basically had nothing. They were struggling to eat, struggling to survive. The rich got richer, while the poor got poorer.
And that, and in France at that time, the true definition of the rich get rich and the poor get poor. I mean, what they said that most of them just spending on bread consumed almost 90% of a worker's daily wage.
Correct.
Think about that.
Couldn't afford to eat.
Average person now with a decent job making $200, $250 a day. Imagine 90% of that going to bread.
Yeah.
We're fighting.
Yeah.
Get the strap.
Here's a really sobering fact. In 5 to 10 years, if a family makes $150K, you will no longer be considered middle class at that point. You will be considered poverty level.
Yeah.
Making $150K. That's the trajectory that we're on. in this country when it comes to our economic policies and how the value inflation, to put it another way, continues to rise while wages remain stagnant. So anyway, the French bourgeois were educated and productive, but they felt burdened, squeezed by the lack of support. So it was the rising cost of housing, the rising cost of bread, food, just your basic necessities. And this didn't just happen in a day. It took years to progress to the fighting levels. But
because by the time they started fighting, I mean, the country was already, just bankrupt because they were still paying for so many different wars. Already.
Right. And France was nearly bankrupt from funding or helping to fund the American Revolution. They spent money on that. Okay, they spent money on the American Revolution. They helped fund that war. And of course, politicians will always tell you that they have political reasons. But again, they were ignoring their people. They were basically being derelict in their duties to help the French people, the working class, while the clergy and the nobility, they were eating good. They were living good, saying, but we needed to help the Americans for this, that, and the other. But everyone else was suffering.
And something else from the first and second estates, they weren't paying any taxes.
Correct.
Like nothing. You look in different places online. So depending on how you Google and research, it'll say something like they were exempt from most taxes. And then you find somewhere else that they just were like, nope, we ain't paying taxes at all. So the working class carried the financial weight of the country as a whole.
Which, if you can't see the parallels between that and the economic state that we're in today, you just don't want to see it.
So here's something that I found. While not legally exempt, talking about current U.S., modern parallels is the debate over the ultra wealthy and mega corporations using loopholes and offshore accounts to pay a fraction of their income and taxes, leaving the middle and working class to carry the burden.
All day. And I'm going to take it a step further. It's basically the middle class. Because if you're poverty stricken, you don't have any money to pay taxes. If you're the ultra wealthy, the corporations, you get the loopholes and the tax breaks and the tax cuts. So you don't pay, which basically leaves the burden on the middle class. So what am I saying here? If you're ultra wealthy, if you're a corporation, yeah, you support the Republicans because you think that their tax cuts help you. If you're poverty stricken, you're with the Democrats because you're like, their policies help us because they're going to take this burden off our plate. If you're in the middle, you're kind of stuck holding the bag regardless of who's in power.
For everybody. And the thing is for the middle class, the way you were raised, your morals, and how you feel about the world determine whether or not you're going to go to bat for this side.
Correct.
Or you're going to go to bat for this side.
Correct. It is, as far as the middle class is concerned, it becomes more of a moral where you fall morally rather than economically because you're stuck in the middle regardless of who's in power. You're basically Malcolm in the middle. It doesn't change for you.
See, I guess for me, I know for you as well, I don't give a damn about sitting in these rooms with people that have 6 or 7 zeros behind their bank account. I mean, if I meet you, I shake your hand like a man, and that's that. I'm more concerned with helping the person who doesn't have what I have. So it always amazes me to see someone that makes the type of money I make or you make or less than we make just riding with the rich folks. Like,
correct. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense at all.
And it never has. Let's be clear.
And it never will.
Has. Well, yeah, it never will.
And it never will. At least not to me. It never will. All right. So let's talk about some institutional distrust. So by 1789, the French public had lost faith in the monarchy and the church, which is what we were saying. And how that directly correlates is basically Americans have lost trust in Congress, They've lost trust in media. They've lost trust in the Supreme Court. So just those parallels, again, they're there. And I'm not saying that we're going to take up arms, even though some, excuse me, some will say that that's exactly what we need to do. But I'm not going to go as far as to say that we're going to take up arms in America and overthrow the aristocracy, to put that. But I think it's clear to see that we are at a breaking point. We're at a boiling point, and something definitely needs to happen. We need to have a revolution of a different sort, not so much a physical fighting revolution, but we need to have a revolution of ideas, so to speak.
So going to what you said previously, the king actually tried to implement fiscal reform in 1789 to save the country from bankruptcy, but the aristocratic courts blocked everything and just refused to give up the tax-free privileges. And then we look at today, congressional gridlock, meaningful financial reform is constantly stalled, corporate lobbying, special interest groups, and they're incentivized to keep the system broken. Because, I mean, why would you give up? I think I may have told you this story years ago when I was still like part-time driving Uber every once in a while. And this was 2019. And I took a lady to the airport, and she was a lobbyist for a pharmaceutical company flying back to Canada. And she had come into town, and she was a Republican too. She was a real nice lady, but she told me some stuff in that car that just blew my mind. And I remember immediately thinking to myself, you shouldn't even be here. Don't ever come back. Because you basically just came here to disrupt everything and dip out.
That's her job.
But that's her, just as nice as she could be.
Yeah, to sow chaos.
But her job, right, is to sow chaos and cause disruption.
And I think, and like I said, we're going through this pretty quickly. We're not getting into a lot of the political aspects of this, but I think it needs to be stated like how much power that the clergy actually had during all of this, and they were a driving factor. And it's ironic because you would think that the clergy would be on the side of the poor people, but they weren't. They were also with the monarchs as far as hoarding all the wealth, hoarding the resources, hoarding the food, and really leaving the peasant working class people to basically struggle. And the parallel I want to make today is when you listen to these evangelicals and when you listen to these Christian nationalists, it's the exact same thing today. They want to, pretend. I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't have a better word for it, but they want to pretend like they're so religious and they're so much, what's the term? People use Bible thumpers. But it's like, but you live contrary to the Bible. You say all the things. You say Jesus, 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 God, 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 but your actions are the exact opposite. You're doing exactly opposite of what the Bible teaches us to do. So that's also a parallel that I want to make, is that the clergy versus the evangelicals in this country, who again really are all about just hoarding wealth and resources, not so much about spreading the word of God or living according, according to the word of God.
So when you and I think about religion, we look at it where religion is your way of life. It's who you are. Like, and this is just my opinion. Well, opinion of many others too, I'm sure. When you choose that path, or you're called to walk that path, it's not a job. It's it's who you
It's a way of life. Yes.
It is who you become. You see it with monks all the time. They become what they're practicing. With these evangelicals, when I hear people say, I can't believe this is happening, really? Then you don't know history.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Right.
But for a lot of these evangelicals, it's a job. It's not their way of, it's not, Yeah, they pray over their food. They pray before they go to bed. They thank God when they wake up in the morning. That's as far as they go. And they preach the word on Sunday, but you don't live it. You're not living it at all. And we clearly see it. Now, you and I grew up with a lot of people that lived it, truly lived it. But now, you and I know about a bunch of people who say they live it and they don't.
And it's so interesting. I mean, because it actually started like the evangelical class supporting Republicans. It
The 70s and
actually
80s.
started, yes,
Mhm.
exactly, the Pat Roberts and all of those type of guys, when it became less about, like you said, spreading the word of God and
Mhm.
more about gaining political power.
It was abortion in the late 70s. That's when they shifted their focus to abortion.
Yeah, it is that's also maybe a parallel that we should draw one of these days, is talk about how the evangelicals basically invaded politics
Oh, man.
and like sunk their hooks in, and now they're so intertwined with the Republican Party that I don't know if they can actually be removed and the Republican Party still exists to this point. Which is why they won't talk about Trump. Everyone knows that Trump is not a Christian. Trump is
No.
probably the least religious president that we've had in modern times.
Yeah.
But they sink their hook. They got their hook so into them and into the Republican Party that it would basically be them setting all of their finances on fire, for lack of a better word, if they were to abandon the Republican Party. I mean, because like you were saying, it's more of a hustle,
Yeah,
than it is anything else.
absolutely.
It's absolutely not about spreading the word. So to get back to the French Revolution, so one of the reasons that the fighting escalated, why it started, is because they actually didn't have a voting system. So if if we want to put a positive spin, a positive outlook on, and why I'm saying like we won't progress to the level that they progress, is because of our voting system. Whether you believe we're going to continue to have fair elections, that's a conversation for another day. But theoretically, our votes are supposed to keep us from getting to the point where we actually have to start pulling straps and attacking the elites, the bourgeois class. So with all of that being said, vote them out. If we don't want a French Revolution, vote them out.
With the voting, I think commoners were what, 98%.
Mm-hmm.
98%.
Mm-hmm.
Because the system obviously was heavily rigged.
Mm-hmm.
How in the hell did the clergy and nobility outvote the commoners 2-1 when 98% of the population were common? And mathematically, you can't even make that make sense.
Unless you do a massive voter suppression, which is exactly what the rule, or not the rule, the plan is for the Republicans today, is to just do a massive voter suppression, which is exactly exactly how they plan on stealing the next election. All of this voter fraud talk, all of this stealing the machines out of Atlanta, it's all a tactic. What they really want to do is suppress the vote so only a limited amount of people get to vote, thus making them the victors. Is actually not far from what Putin does in Russia. You limit the amount of people that can vote, and then you say, I won.
And frustrate the others.
Yeah.
Or they just throw their hands up
Yeah.
and be like, to hell with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You won because 50% of the country didn't vote. That's why you won, which is exactly what we're experiencing today. And what do they call it? The Stay Act that they're trying to introduce.
Save Act.
Save Act. I'm sorry. The Save Act. Thank you. The Save Act. All of this voter ID stuff is all about voter suppression. you sow the seeds of distrust, like we were talking about earlier. You make it seem like the vote is rigged. You keep lying about all of these illegals. And I know we're not supposed to use that term, but you keep screaming about these illegals voting. There's no proof, no evidence of that. There hasn't been. Forever, right. You keep talking about this voter ID. Everyone knows that you have to show your ID to vote. If you've ever voted, you know that you must show your ID. They verify your address. They do voting is hard.
But they scanning your damn driver's license now.
Exactly. Voting is hard. It is not an easy process. You just can't walk up and cast a vote.
But the problem is that when people hear people opposing the SAVE Act, those who are less informed or just care not to be informed with a simple Google search don't understand. And I'll be honest with you. I don't think people truly understand how many people in this country don't have access to their birth certificate.
Correct.
To some folks, they might go, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. How do you not know where your social security card is, where your birth certificate is? How do you not have a passport? Well, for some people, they haven't had to use their birth certificate forever.
Correct.
I remember a couple years back when two of the kids, I couldn't find their birth certificates.
Correct.
Dude, I had to drive. I had to pick a morning. I left here at 6 a.m. and drove to Crown Point. Had them printed out in Crown Point and drove back to Indianapolis to have them turned in for the sports physicals that they needed. Because I couldn't find them.
Correct.
And my ex-wife kept a filing cabinet with important documents in it.
Now, think about someone that's in their 70s or 80s at this point.
I don't know what that shit is.
Exactly.
And if I do, I think it's over there. It's going to take me a week to find it.
Yeah. If you don't travel outside of the country,
Why do
you
you
have no use for a passport.
Man, I ain't worried about that shit.
Yeah. You have no use for it. If you're poor,
you ain't got the money.
You ain't got the money for a passport.
So for people that say, well, it must be because you're trying to commit voter fraud, it's like, no. History is just repeating itself. This is what happened to black folk when they tried to vote. You couldn't get the necessary paperwork. And then when you got the paperwork, they put in them stupid ass voting tests.
Voting is a right. Voting should be one of the easiest things we do as Americans, not one of the harder things we do as Americans. It's your right. In a true democracy, voting should be simple. Like in Europe, some countries, they shut down on election day. No one goes to work. No one does anything. You're voting. That's democracy. Not make it harder, make it easier. That's what the focus should be on, is making it easier for people to vote, not making it harder. But because they have no policy, they have no issues to actually run on, the only way that they can stay in power, retain power, is by rigging the system, by using voter suppression.
So I know we weren't going to talk about politics, but I want to mention something.
Go ahead, bro. Get into it.
That is right in line with what you're talking about. So by 1792, they had passed certain laws that allowed everybody to vote in France. But they made voting public. So I could see who voted for who. And if you voted for the wrong person based on what side of the coin you were on, you risked going before the guillotine because of who you voted for. Voter turnout went below 10% by 1792.
Made people scared to vote.
Why would I show up to vote if I'm going to get the guillotine?
Right.
Y'all got it. You win.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you were just talking about.
Yeah.
We just do it in different ways.
Correct.
Because we can't.
Like ICE,
you go
terrorizing towns.
You go out threatening certain communities with guillotines. People are going to start getting mowed down. Because then people are going to say, oh, hold on. Now my government is overstepped, which why the entire country hasn't already said this government is overreaching is beyond me. And as I mentioned either last week or the week before, there's a certain group of people that you and I grew up with that knew the government came to their town, government was going to get ran out. Hell,
Correct.
those people opening the doors.
Correct.
Especially in places like Indiana.
Correct. You know, it's Steve Bannon flat out said a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, that they're going to have ICE agents at voting polls. One, that's illegal. 100% illegal. But
because we're going to start snatching brown people out the
line. Correct. What you were just saying, though, as a way to suppress the vote is to just instill that fear and make it that people don't show up to vote. Thus, we win by default.
Yep.
Because our guys get to go vote easy peasy, and we're making it super tough, or we're making it an adventure for everyone else to go vote.
It's like Jumanji.
I
have played Jumanji. When you going to vote? I'm going to play Jumanji.
Right.
I might be back in 2 hours. I might not.
All good. All right, bro. So anything else you want to talk about as it relates to the French Revolution? You want to talk about some of those political parallels?
No, I think we're good.
All right, cool. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to slide right into our next topic, which is current events. Oh, man. So for my current event, and you and I were discussing this before we started recording, I want to talk about this ridiculous circus that happened in Congress earlier this week with the supposed Attorney General, Pamela Jo Bondi.
The twice divorced Pamela Jo Bondi. The Christian family values. My bad.
No, go ahead, bro.
My bad, dog. Look, I was talking out loud. I was
no, it's all good. So for those who are not aware of the Attorney General's duties, the Attorney General works for the people. She is supposed to be the top law enforcement for the people. She does not work for the president. No Attorney General works for the president. No Attorney General is supposed to be loyal to the president. They're supposed to be loyal to the Constitution and to the rule of law. These are the checks and balances that keeps a president honest, or at least supposed to keep a president honest. This circus that happened at this hearing, and I'm telling you, it was one of the hardest things to watch. Every time they asked a question, she would just obfuscate and start talking about something completely different. And the issue is, if you or I were to get up there and behave in that manner in front of Congress, we would have been locked in a cell. We cannot talk about equal justice applied to all and look at that clown show and go, wait, so she was not taken out in handcuffs? She is not being held in contempt? She's not being asked to resign from her post immediately? It was just so, like, infuriating and shocking at the same time, because it's just like, you're not even trying to be coy about where your loyalties lie. And this is what the justice system has devolved into. And it's really, really sad to see. It's sad and it's scary. I mean, because we're almost at the point where the president is a dictator. We're almost there. I'm telling you, we're a stone's throw away from it. When you have the legal system, when you have the FBI, Cash Patel, you don't work for the president. Pam Bondi, Attorney General, you don't work for the president. You guys are there to keep people in line, regardless of their political affiliation, not to do the president's bidding. And we have lost that in America. That's my current event, bro.
So I could have used my current event as a rant. Because I think it goes either way. So I want to talk about the FAA abruptly closing the airspace over El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
So when it first happened, you think to yourself, "Man, what the hell is the FAA doing?"
Mm-hmm.
Then you find out that Sean Duffy basically tells people, "Well, we need to shut it down due to cartel drone issues."
Sean Duffy from the real world fame.
Fame?
Well, whatever. But yeah.
So they used a weapon, a laser,
Mm-hmm.
to shoot down what they thought,
Mm-hmm.
excuse my language, was a fucking drone.
Mm-hmm.
It was a damn party balloon. So the Pentagon didn't know. The White House didn't know. Look, we don't like Donald Trump. But can you imagine being the president sitting in a room and somebody tells you, hey, Mr. President. So the president says, hey, so what's up going on in El Paso? Well, Mr. President, here's what happened. And then they explain to the president everything I just said. How do you as the president right then and there not go, all of you are fired?
Mm-hmm.
Like they say the head of the FAA was like, I'm sorry, they did what? Because those lasers can blind the pilots.
Mm-hmm. Dude, they tell you not to even use those laser pointers
it's a
from the
felony.
ground. Right.
It's a felony.
Right.
Back in the day, as a huge wrestling fan, especially in the 90s, people used to shine them stupid pins on the wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
It is a felony now.
Mm.
If you do that at a show, they kick you, they arrest you.
Because it is temporary blindness.
But, bro, these are government officials
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that thought a party balloon
Mm-hmm.
was a cartel drone. So they shut airspace down.
Mm-hmm.
Medevac.
Mm-hmm.
Now, thankfully, it only lasted, 12, 13 hours.
Mm-hmm. Still a long time, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, think about how many flights are being delayed and whatnot.
For El Paso?
Isn't that supposed to be like one of the largest hubs for freight and whatnot, moving in and out? So think about all of that freight that now is delayed because of this stupidity. Yeah. Yeah. I liken this to a kid with a new toy. I just want to see what this toy can do.
23rd largest airspace. Oh, here's my favorite. They fired a multi-million-dollar laser at a birthday balloon.
That part. I think, and man, I kind of want to have this conversation offline because I also think that this is something that we can get into on one of the podcasts. But I think it needs to be stated just how much money between ICE and this debacle, the blowing up the boats in the Caribbean, the raid on Venezuela. I think we need to start putting a monetary value on all of these things. And again, this is how they are controlling the media. The media won't talk about how much money all of these things are costing the American taxpayers. Even sending people to El Salvador, we have to pay for that. And when I say we, I mean we, the taxpayers. We pay for those planes to go to El Salvador. We pay that government to house said quote unquote immigrants. We are paying for all of this.
Well, remember back when I can't say that. But old boy in Texas, the governor, was just sending planes of people.
I know what you wanted to say. Don't say it, but I know exactly what you wanted to say. The Jasmine Crockett insult. Yeah.
Just sending people just load a plane and send it.
Yeah.
But then your grid system goes down and you ain't got no money to fix it.
Right.
But you just spent $1.5 million
right.
to ship 30 to 40 people to Chicago.
Right.
And guess what Chicago did? They fed them.
Correct.
Clothed them.
And so did Martha's Vineyard when they did it to Martha's Vineyard.
They housed them.
Yep.
They helped them get jobs.
Yep.
They did what true Christians are supposed to do.
Damn, you just took the words right out of my mouth. Yep. You're exactly right. Couldn't agree more. They did exactly what true Christians are supposed to do. Feed the poor. Help the stranger. 100% right. Cannot agree with you more on that, bro. Man, I'm gonna just leave it there. But yeah. yeah, bro. Yeah. It's if we used to be admired around the world, if there was a time where American exceptionalism was a thing, we're not there anymore. We're laughing stocks around the world.
So there are new jokes going around, mostly through Europe. What borders on stupidity?
America.
Canada and Mexico.
I
don't think people understand. Trump has been yelling for years that we're a laughing stock under Joe Biden, Obama.
But he's made us the real laughing stock. Correct.
Not only are we a laughing stock, we don't have the respect that we used to have.
Correct.
You think people respect you, dog?
Correct.
You're 79. You shit yourself.
Correct.
And look, I'm not trying to say that because there are a lot of older people out there that have this issue.
Correct.
But you sit around claim to be this strong alpha male.
Correct.
You're not.
You can't even say sorry when you clearly make a mistake. That's not strength. That's weakness. That's pure weakness. That's childish.
And you've always been that way. He's always been unable to correct himself. And now, what sucks for all of us, the difference from 2016 to now is he had legit people on his payroll in 2016 that were correcting and were career politicians. Now, most of us dislike career politicians. I get that. But those were people that had been through the fire.
Correct.
Now, it's like he won the lottery and has just invited everybody back from home. Hey, y'all want a job? Hey, y'all want a job? It's like when Eminem formed D12. Hey, y'all want to rap? Come on.
All the homies.
Just come rap.
Don't know shit about
and only
government.
One of them can rap.
Yeah. Don't know shit about government, but come on and get this top government position.
The FBI
has no business being head of the FBI. And also, I hope he gets brought up on charges as well.
And he knows it. You know who else knew it? And it took him a while. He should have never accepted the position.
Bongino. That's
Bongino
why he
was like,
yeah.
Man, I'm not qualified for this shit.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I still don't like him.
Correct.
But at least he was man enough to say, I'm not qualified to do this.
Right.
This is not my place.
Right.
Let me go back to my podcast.
Right. No, I feel you. Anything else you want to cover as far as the current event?
Still, we got Cash App and they're running the FBI.
Sure do.
Yes, that's his name.
Yeah, his name is Cash App. That is 100% correct.
It might not be the way you pronounce it in this country.
That's the way we pronouncing it.
It's Cash App.
It's Cash App, right.
Through that merchandise with dollar bill signs on it, and you the damn head of the FBI.
To when Alex Preddy was killed, to talk about how you can't bring a gun to a protest.
Which is wild.
Completely wild. First of all, go do an investigation before you say anything. But second of all, then why didn't y'all have that same smoke for Kyle Rittenhouse, who actually killed people, who was actually underage and shouldn't even be allowed
across state lines,
and brought it across state lines,
dropped off by his mama.
Right. But y'all didn't have no smoke for him. It was cool when he did it. But Alex Preddy ain't supposed. Yeah, again, totally unqualified. Shouldn't have your position. You are a political hack, and I hope you get rung up on charges, just like Pam Bondi, just like Stephen Miller. Hope all of you guys get rung up on charges. All right. With that being said, we're going to move into our favorite segment, my favorite segment, our rant about a random topic. You want me to just go with it, bro?
Yeah.
All right, so I have been, well, I shouldn't say because it just came out. I watched the first couple of episodes of Cross, the Aldous Hodge.
Oh, I didn't know it had started. I thought you saw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it started. So I watched the first couple of episodes of Cross.
Okay.
And my one critique so far, this isn't a spoiler, but last year, him and his boy Sam had beef.
Yeah.
This episode It's just a few episodes. I mean, this season is already a few episodes in. They already have beef. I'm sick of that already. You do not have to make a male relationship toxic.
Bro, how many times have you... We've known each other, and I'm sorry to step on it.
No, step on it.
We are 50 years old. We have known each other for 40, almost 45 years. Have we ever... Well, no, with the exception of having discussions.
We have discussions. We disagree on things.
Yeah.
We don't have beef.
What the...
We don't have beef. I'm so sick. It's like this is not what a typical male relationship is.
No.
You don't have beef, and then when shit get thick, hey man, look, I need you. I love you. Nah. We just don't have beef like that.
Exactly.
It don't. If we have disagreements, like I said, we talk them out and we handle them. It don't escalate to a point where, man, I ain't talking to you, man. I'm mad at you, man. Don't talk to me for 3 months.
What are we, kids?
Right. And I'm so sick of that already. Like, stop the male toxic relationship. Please stop it. It's annoying. It's not realistic. With that being said, I think I'm gonna go back and read some of James Patterson's Alex Cross novels. You know how people always say that the books are better than the movies? So I think I want to go back and read like Kiss the Girls. I want to go back and read Along Came a Spider. And I mean, not just James Patterson. I think I want to go read some John Grisham books as well. I think I want to read The Pelican Brief. I'd like to read The Firm, just to see like what they left out of the movies, so to speak.
I think Hollywood dropped the ball on Alex Cross. I thought that it was flowing smooth. Kiss the Girls, Along Came a Spider. They're like, yo, these movies are great. And they said,
Tyler Perry.
What Madea doing?
Totally miscast. Should have never even got close to being Alex Cross.
Now,
popularity.
The movie itself is not bad to me. It's just that there are scenes, like the train scene is wonderful. But like him diving across the room shooting a shotgun. I remember the first time I watched it, I turned it off. Because I had to go back and
no one buys him as a tough guy.
Well, no one shoots a shotgun with the pump right next to your damn chest while you diving across the room.
Yeah.
But no, nobody bought him as a tough guy.
Yeah. It was. You're right.
They kept that going.
You're right. They did miss the boat. They did drop the ball by casting Tyler Perry as Alex Cross. One of the most egregious miscasts probably in cinematic history, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But yeah, that's my word. I think I'm gonna go back and read some of those old spy novels just to see like what I missed, because like the Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks, Angels and Demons, there are so many details in those books that are not in the movies. And I get it, you can't. Well, if you're Christopher Nolan, you can, but you can't make a 12-hour
movie.
Yeah. So I get it that you have to leave something on the cutting room floor, as they say. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go back and read those books.
Well, back in the day, when stuff was left on the cutting room floor, we would always get that special edition
director's
DVD
cut
with 3 or 4 discs,
Yeah,
so you can get a chance to see what's going on.
Yeah,
kind of like they did with Justice League. A few years ago.
Yeah. That's my work, bro. What you want to write about?
So I want to talk about something that many probably would expect me to talk about. Doesn't get talked about enough. I want to talk about the backlog in the state of Indiana for rape and sexual assault kits.
Oh, wow.
So in Indiana, we have always been known to have one of the biggest backlogs in the country. Currently, they identify between 5,000 to 6,000 tests. And in Marion County, we have most of them that are just untested. Most of it is lack of mandatory testing laws. So there are states around us that have mandatory testing laws where the money has to be used to go after. I mean, because who the hell why is a rape kit sitting on the shelf for 12 years?
Is there a statute of limitations?
On rape, yes. I don't know the exact what it is now. I know in certain states in the past it was like 7 years. But of course, if that rape was done in the commission of other crimes, those other crimes will still be there as well. So if someone, unfortunately was raped and murdered, for example, obviously murder has no statute of limitations. So you're always going to get tried for the homicide if they find it. So one of the reasons I'm bringing this up, mostly because of the DNA, but I feel like a light needs to be shined on just how many sexual assaults happen in this state, in this country in general, but in this state. But recently there was a former town official from Atlanta, Indiana, who was arrested for a 1992 homicide. He was arrested 4 days ago.
Oh, wow.
For a 1992 homicide. So the reason I bring that up is because you've got rape kits sitting on the shelves. Some of these women were murdered. You just got murderers out there living 20, 25, 30 years out in the, just out and about, not being held accountable.
Is this the story where they were digging up his backyard like recently?
No, that's her.
That's a different story. Okay.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they found more bones.
Okay.
And out there in Westfield.
Okay.
All
right. Okay. There you go.
But they found the body of Tony Bledsoe back in 2018. And they identified who he was in 2018. So
I remember this. Yes.
It took from 90. Yeah, that name.
I remember this. Yes.
It went from 92 to 2018 to determine who he was.
Yes.
And from 2018 to 4 days ago to arrest the former town official from Atlanta.
Yes.
So he's facing the rest of his life in jail. So certain legislation have been brought forward to try to get long-term funding for it, but it just hasn't passed yet. So there are several groups out there where you can donate to, and these are mostly women-led, who then raise money and give it to the state so they can run those labs. So for anybody listening, get a pen. Indiana Coalition to End Sexual Assault, the Assault Survivors Kits, which is the Assistance League of Indiana, and the Joyful Heart Foundation to help end the backlog. Look up these organizations on Google, donate and help where you can so we can get these backlogs filled.
All right, cool. That's all you got?
That's it.
All right, cool. All right, y'all. With that being said, we're going to roll right into our next segment 5 on the Black Hand side, our Black movie review. And this week we chose Dead Presidents. Go ahead, my brother. Tell us what this movie was about.
All right, so Dead Presidents was released in 1995, directed by the Hughes brothers. Had a budget of $10 million, made 24.1 domestically, but it grossed 43 million worldwide, which is considered that's a huge
for that time, yes.
Especially for the actors I'm about to mention that were in the movie. So Lorenz Tate played Anthony Curtis. Keith David played Kirby. Chris Tucker was Skip.
And Boucher
Wright, and the Boucher Wright as the
I always struggle with pronouncing it too.
Yeah. Evil Dave Chappelle as Cleon. Freddie Rodriguez as Jose.
Yes, sir. Crazy.
Clifton Powell as Cuddy.
Yep.
And Terrence Howard, which I don't know how, always forget that he's in this movie.
Yeah, he had a sucker role though.
Yeah, he played.
To me, he had a sucker role.
Yeah, he played cowboy. He got his ass whooped too.
Yeah.
So he played a cowboy.
Yeah.
So the plot of this film, it's a tragedy split into 3 acts. So the Bronx before the war, the reality of the Vietnam War, and a bleak homecoming. So it follows Lorenz Tate's character, Anthony Curtis, who bypasses college to go to the Marines. When he returned home, him and his friends find their sacrifices basically meant nothing, like a lot of folks did around this country during that time.
Correct.
They're denied the opportunity, disrespected by the community, as a lot of veterans were, black or white.
Correct.
And it left to struggle in poverty. The desperation drives them to plot a heist of an armored truck carrying discarded, untraceable currency. The Dead Presidents, which tragically spirals out of control.
So when this movie first came out, I was not expecting it to be about this.
Man, I love this movie, man.
No, it is a really good movie. I was expecting it to be more of like a blaxploitation Uptown Saturday Night type movie is what I was expecting. And then when I actually watched the movie, I was like, whoa, this movie is deep, powerful, and actually more of a tragedy than anything else. And it sort of goes back to what we were saying last week about how Black soldiers were treated when they returned from World War I, World War II, and even the Civil War for that matter, how you went and fought for your country and now you come back and you got nothing. Back to the ghetto, back to being poverty stricken.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for your service and I get the hell out of here. And it's really sad. And just the struggles that him and his lady was going through. It was just like, wow. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying robbing and stealing is ever acceptable. They basically left these dudes with no choice. I mean, like they were put in impossible situations.
The most dangerous thing you can do is leave a man or woman painted in the corner with nothing else, and they feel like all they have to fight their way out of it.
Correct.
There's no telling.
Correct. And
happened.
in a perfect world, him and all of his buddies would have been taken care of. They would have had good jobs where they could support their families. They could have lived nice, decent, excuse me, middle-class lives when they returned from the war. Instead, they were all right back in the same situation that they were, actually worse than when they left for war. It's really just a critique, like you always say, how they treated Vietnam vets and stuff when they returned to the world. It's just really sad. And then the whole part with Cuddy, I could not stand like just that whole storyline, bro. And I've been trying to figure out, was Cuddy actually a pimp or was Cuddy a trick and his woman was out there selling ass? I'm still kind of like up in the air on that. I can't quite get like was Cuddy just the drug dealer and he was smashing no girl and paying her, or was he a pimp and no girl was working for him the whole time?
No. I think you had it right the first time. I think Cuddy was a trick. She might have been out there selling. See, and I'm glad you said that, because my problem with that whole dynamic was clearly Cuddy got bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took care of her. Here, I gave you this for the little girl.
Yeah.
So when I come back, so you out here tricking with this dude.
Right.
You ain't came up at all?
Yeah.
We still broke? We
Right.
still poor?
Right.
Make that make sense. That was my problem with, and of course, you and I both know that happens all over the place, even now.
Mm-hmm.
Like people get involved and see, messing with this person when they have a relationship at home, and they messing with this person, and they got a lot of money, but they never come up.
Yeah.
So what was you doing?
Right. You triggering it some way, somehow.
Somebody rich giving you this bread. You ain't putting nothing back into the crib.
Right.
So not only is bad enough that I left our community to go fight for this country, thinking that I'm about to come back home a war hero and bring some respect to my family.
Mm-hmm.
But while I'm gone, you sleeping with this dude.
Right. Got him around my daughter.
And you ain't got nothing to show for it.
Right. And all you do is emasculate this dude every chance he get, calling him broke every chance he get. We need to get out of this raggedy apartment. We need to do this. We need to do that.
So why didn't Cuddy put you up somewhere else while I was gone?
Right. Yeah, it's yeah. It's like I said, this movie was not what I expected. It was actually kind of sad to me.
I think his survival is what made it sad.
Yeah.
Because movies like this, people like him die.
Yeah.
The sad part was old girl dying.
Yeah.
Her sister.
Yeah.
Him surviving and then having to live the hell of going to prison.
Going to the pen for the rest of your life. Yeah. 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 We must talk about like one of the best soundtracks. If you like old school,
was listening to that a couple weeks ago.
If you like old school music, this is one of the best soundtracks that you can go and get the Dead Presidents or download. I guess people don't buy CDs anymore. Download the Dead President soundtrack. If you like old school, this soundtrack is off the chain.
Isaac Hayes, James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone,
Harold Melvin and the Blue Note. Yes. No skips. Al Green. No skips. No skips on this soundtrack. We didn't talk about Bakeem Woodbine. You always call him
the evil Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. We didn't. I liked his character when they were at war.
Yeah.
When they got back to the real world, it was like
somebody hit him upside the head.
Yeah. He Cleon became. He was so hard when they were out there in the jungle, but when they got back to the real world, he was just like a punk. It was just like, oh, bro, like what happened to you? And I mean, just the fact that, like we know, a lot of vets came back and got strung out on drugs, which was the Chris Tucker character came back and was strung out on drugs and everything. I mean, because war changes a man. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad, but at the same time, we see that and we go, yeah, this is actually like the harsh reality though. This, not the robbery part, but all of the other circumstances. Like this is exactly what these guys had to go through when they came back from the war.
So I want to make a parallel on something real quick between Glory and Dead President.
Mm-hmm.
So the heroic legacy of the 54th compared to the ultimate betrayal of people like Anthony coming back home. So the 54th, because they die, a lot of them died in battle, were preserved as fighters for all time, for the future of black men. Man, this is what, man, they died fighting. You know, they used to be slaves, or they were slaves, then they were educated, then they died fighting for the country. For people like Anthony, who go to war only to come home and be treated the same way the 54th was being, maybe not as harsh, but being treated the same way, except economically, they were deprived.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, to me, that's the ultimate betrayal.
Yeah.
Of the
Yeah. The fact that you left us out here with no social mobility, no economic mobility, to the point where we have to commit crimes now just in order to survive is yeah. Like I said, it's sad, but it's actually a harsh reality.
Growing up, once I got old enough to understand everything, I was so thankful that my father never made it to Vietnam. Never made it further than Germany.
Yeah.
For whatever reason or another.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he saw some crazy shit over there too, because, you know, soldiers had flown from Vietnam to Germany, you know, and whatnot. But, you know, I'm very thankful, because hell, I might not be sitting here.
I mean, we after Iraq, that's when like PTSD really became like a public issue. But no one ever talks about the PTSD that these guys experienced after Nam, which was probably worse.
Well, they dealt with Agent Orange and everything else.
Yeah.
All types of.
Yeah.
You fighting on somebody else's soil.
Yeah.
Clearly were more skilled.
Yeah.
Than you were.
Yeah. They knew the terrain.
Environment. Yeah. That environment. It don't matter how many weapons you have.
Yeah. They just lay back and pick y'all off.
Well, they built tunnels. They had them damn tunnels.
Yeah.
That we couldn't navigate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess it's time to rate this thing.
I'm going all in, brother. I push all my chips to the middle of the table.
I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5. I can't give it a perfect score. I know you're probably thinking, we just had this conversation. We were talking about raises.
Yeah. That's different though. That is.
It is. It is. So I guess this is just me. I feel like they should have got away. Had they got away, I think it would have probably been perfect. Or at least one of them should have got away. But the fact that everybody got caught up or either killed, kind of just, yeah. For what they went through, I feel like somebody should have been able to benefit from it. Nobody got to benefit from it. It was just like, man, y'all got the plan in place and it didn't go exactly according to plan, but close enough. And everybody still got caught up. Ugh.
So who directed Menace to Society?
They did.
Yeah. Does anybody ever get away? As soon as you said that shit, I started thinking like, wait a minute. These cats kill off everybody.
I guess I never looked at it like
Bro,
that.
Lorenz Tate went to jail in both of their movies.
Yeah.
Because remember, that quick flash on Menace to Society was handcuffs.
Yeah.
He went to jail in both of their movies.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, bro. I did enjoy when he threw the chair at the judge, though. That I felt that.
And the judge wasn't the judge
Martin Sheen.
Yeah,
Martin Sheen, yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr. Estevez.
Mr. Estevez, right? Yeah, who basically scolded him.
Yeah, because he was also a Marine veteran, and he
basically told him that same, I'm a soldier too, and I never did this, and I never, nigga, you white.
Yeah,
you didn't have to.
Yeah, it's the inability to see things from more than one angle.
Yeah.
For me, that always just it, and I'm going to talk about it here shortly, like with the SAVE Act. And we talked about it briefly a few minutes ago. Not everybody has access to certain documents to make their lives a little easier.
Right. We talked about how the GI Bill was disproportionately administered.
And some of these folks didn't even apply for the GI Bill because they knew that they were going to get denied.
It's for all of the people who say systemic racism doesn't exist, this movie puts it on display. For all of the people who say that there is no history of racism in America, this type of movie puts it on display when you draw the parallels to how the 54 was treated, draw the parallels to the soldiers, the black soldiers from World War I and World War II. You draw the parallels to the black soldiers from Vietnam. That right there is your history of racism in America. That is the link to your systemic racism and why black people have not been able to prosper like their white counterparts, for lack of a better term. Yeah, you were a soldier, Mr. Judge, but you probably came back and went back to your cushy middle class family. You went to college. You were able to get those grants and loans to pay for law school where I couldn't get shit. I couldn't even get a job.
Or even just what we talked about previously, the equity.
Yeah.
Your family, you can always borrow money, on the equity on your home.
Yeah.
Whereas most of those black soldiers coming back from war,
nothing.
They were forced into apartments.
Yep.
They didn't have anyone.
Yep. Return to nothing. Return to squalor. Return to poverty. All right, y'all. So you gonna give it high fives on the black hand side?
And you know why I'm gonna do it? Because we talked about the soundtrack too. I think the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is awesome.
Love it.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So that's our vibe on the black hand side movie review. If you want to listen to a great soundtrack, download the soundtrack for Dear Presidents. If you want to watch a good movie, go watch Dear Presidents. This is a good movie. All right, y'all. Now we're going to move into our closing monologue. KG, the floor is yours.
Appreciate it. So we are told that we have to choose. We're told that we can either have an election that is secure or an election that is free. That we must choose between a locked door and an open one. But the SAVE Act acts as a much deeper question. Who is an American and how much do they have to prove it to be heard? To some, this is a common sense shield, a way to ensure the foundation of our democracy, is built on solid, verified ground. To others, it is a fence too high, leaving behind the student, the senior, and the marginalized. But perhaps the tragedy isn't the policy itself. It's in the fact that we no longer trust one another to guard the gate. If we lose faith in the process, we lose the republic. Whether this act is a safeguard or a barrier isn't just a matter of law, it's a reflection of our fear. And a democracy built on fear cannot indefinitely stand. The ballot is a piece of paper, yes, but it is the only thing that makes us equal. Let's make sure that we don't break the scale trying to weigh it.
All right. I'm with you, bro. All right, y'all. That concludes episode 21 of For the Fam podcast. Like we always say, you can find us anywhere that you get your other podcasts. We're on every platform. So holler at us, give us a like, give us a subscribe, get with us in the comments. If you think Cuddy was a trick, get with us in the comments. Man, you threw me off, brother. Oh man. All right, y'all. So we gonna leave it there, and we'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.